many people the reason for the slowdown of our economy. A lot of talks have been going on, and to answer all your questions, all your queries, I have before you Mr. Mohan Krishna Rao, our founder and managing partner, who is also a seasoned economist and who has been already talking to you on almost a daily pattern, explaining you about the nitty gritties of finance and financial economy. Over to Mr. Mohan Krishna Rao.
Welcome to all of you who are live on the YouTube, watching it live. We've been waiting for this particular day for quite some time because we announced it about 3 to 4 days back that there will be a session on economic slowdown and the reasons and how does it affect us. And today I'm going to address this in about 6 to 7 points. And this is more for my reference, and I'll be using the television screen to show you some of the live pictures and the news articles on which I would like to comment on and elaborate, and also give clarity how news articles are written to create an impact. And basically today we are talking about economic slowdown. The word first is slowdown good or bad? Question is, when you are driving a car or when you are driving a bike and you are speeding at a good speed, there is something that comes in front and or the road is not good. If you are going at 80 or 90 kilometer speed, you will be reducing the speed, right? If suddenly something comes from 90 kilometer speed, you will come to at least 60 or 40 and you will change it to the third gear. You are in the fifth gear and you come back to the third gear or second gear, 20 kilometers, 30 kilometers. So that is slowing down. So that is an explanation of slowing down. But normally what we think when there is now, if you see, for an economic slowdown, if a car is slowing down, similarly the economy is slowing down. If a car is slowing down, we are not getting worried because we know that it is very natural to slow down, and even if it stops also, we again change to the first gear and start moving. So slowing down is very natural, and we don't get panic when something slows down, especially when we are driving a car. But we know that it has to slow down, and again we'll pick up and come back to whenever highway comes again. Average speed will get to 80, 90, 100, 120. When the road is clean and empty, we'll take to the speed. But when it comes to economy, if you see in the last 2 to 3 months, there is huge amount of furrow. There's so much of news making round, and we are almost panicking. What will happen? What will happen next? Is this a big, threat? Some big threat is coming, and something is going to vanish. Is the life is going to change? All our money is going to get eroded. How it will impact? Is my job going to go? So this is a panic which we get when it comes to economy. Probably we read slowdown as stopping, and many times we think we are going in reverse gear. Though we use the word slow down, in reality in our mind we always think that there is a stopping and this is the end of it. There is nowhere we are going to move. It is like a dead end we have arrived. That is what is the feeling in the mind. So very, very important to know, first and foremost, it is not a stop, not a retreat, not that you are moving back in the reverse gear. It is a slowdown. Just like the car slows down, economy also slows down.
Probably slowdown is also relative.
So it is a relative thing because if you are at 80 already, if you come to 60, you call it slowdown. If you are continuing the speed at 80 only, then you call it you are maintaining the speed. If you increase from 80 to 90 kilometers, 100, you think it is growth. So it's a relative. Absolutely true, sir, what you said, Mr. Sridhar. So it's a relative term. So of course, we all want our country to grow, each one of us to grow our money. We want everyone to be on a growth path, and we are not used to negative news. But what is the reality is, whether it is news or anything in general, the negativity is always more than the positivity. and our mind absorbs more negative things faster than the positive things, and that is why we always read slow down as a stop. You cannot panic for a slowdown, but still we panic. And today, this purpose of this session is to address that are we should we panic for the slowdown or not? What is the reason for the slowdown? Whether there is really any kind of a slowdown, is it going to affect us? How is it going to affect us? If at all it is going, then what is the reason? What is slowing down? Is there a major traffic jam ahead? And whether GDP will grow? Because compared to the car moving, we thought last 5-6 quarters the GDP growth started from 5.25 it started moving up, and then the last quarter we saw a lot of disturbances happening, and there is a fear in the market that the car sales is dropping down. Parle-G biscuit is not selling. So if the Parle-G biscuit company is laying off 10,000 people, means what will happen to this country? Okay. So the Parle-G is such a good brand, 5 rupees packet. Even if that 5 rupees packet also people, if they cannot buy, that means something is seriously wrong. So an average person looking who is used to eating, Parle-G with his morning tea and evening tea, he will get worried if Parle-G is sees a news report saying Parle-G is laying off and they're stopping production and they're cutting down the cars and they're laying off people and people are becoming jobless. Auto industry, a lot of news. So this is what I'm trying to explain is there is a panic which happens because of the way we understand the car driving, we will not understand the economy. Because there are so many different people who will define different things, and the way they project the things, we will not be in a position to understand exactly what is happening. And as it is said, the more negative news gets spread. So it is very important to often meet and understand. And the very important point is slowdown is good. That's the first point that I wanted to make. That slowdown is good for the economy, and it is only in the slowdown that you understand that you can pick up the speed. Also, you know that if there is a slowdown, that means you should already be moving fast. So the good thing is, slowdown has come because you are moving fast. You were running at 80 kilometers, and because you got, that fatigue comes in, and you stop slowly, but you didn't stop. So it is a fact. If somebody says slow down, that means you are moving fast. So in the last 3-4 years, there was a movement moving fast, or whatever. People have not talked about slowdown in the last 5-6 years. Now, first time they are talking about slowdown, which means we have run fast in the 5-6 years. I am talking about very general things. So it is not a problem according to us, and to many experts believe slowdown is a good sign. If you get fever, temperature goes high, it is an indication. It's a symptom. Symptom is good because if you don't get fever and suddenly somebody gets a cholera or something, right, you don't even have an option to control. Right? So fever should come, slowdown should come, symptoms should come, so that one can act on the symptoms, understand why it is happening, and it is possible that we are able to address the issues. And the government and the people sitting there managing the economy, the economists, and sometimes government does not listen to economists, economists does not agree with what is happening in the government. It's a very large, complex democracy what we have. And there are so many political considerations, there are so many nationalist considerations, there are many things playing as a large country. And what exactly happening, what is right, what is wrong, there are a lot of debates most of the time. So first is that, now let me come to the second point, that global recession versus domestic Indian recession. So a lot of points are talked about that the global markets are down. And I have a couple of links which I will share that on the global economy, and is it something really dangerous? This global economy, is it really dangerous? So we need to know two facts very clearly before taking the questions. I'll take a couple of minutes to first clarify on some of the things that this what is the understanding? When you say recession or when you say slowdown, you have to know very clearly what you are referring to. So the devil is in the details. You cannot be making generalized statement. The global recession is going to come, and it is going to, everywhere there are problems. China there is problem, US there is problem, Europe there is problem. Steel sector is down, commodities are down. So if you are in general telling like this, that is not the same way of looking at things. The same way of looking at things is getting to the specifics. Global means what? Where do you think? Are you saying that it is the developed countries the problem is there? Where is the problem? Who is going to get affected by what? So the clarity that one should have is what is difference between global and domestic Indian recession? Is India going to face recession? What is recession first and foremost? Where there is no demand, there are job cuts. So the recession is a place where you don't have any kind of the momentum, the economic activity. People are not finding more money available in the market. There is no production, there is no demand. That state is called recession. So recession is a bigger impact of a slowdown. It's complete stop and going back. So recession, as the word itself says, is if you are going at 80 kilometers and you got into a wrong road, then what you will do, you'll have to come back. The coming back is the recession. You have to come back and again go to the right route. So it is going to take you in 10 years if you have to go to a certain level as a country. If you face a recession, it will take another 15 more years to come back and perform what you would have performed in 10 years. So recession is going to affect every economy. And what is recession? Recession is going back. So it is not stopping, it is not slowing down. Slowing down is very different from recession. Again, when I say recession, are we in the stage of recession? The recession is difference between global recession. If it is global, you can't say entire world is reeling under recession. You can't say that. In the world, 193 countries are there. In which country you think you have recession? Is all the 193 countries going to be affected? There are connections between the country. There are geographical connections, there are financial connections, there are banking connections, there are demand supply connections. So we need to understand very clearly what is the global recession, how is going to affect the Indian recession. So very quickly coming to that, the global recession, will it affect India? Let me not get into the lecture mode of explaining all about the global recession, but let me come back to explain whether whatever happens in the world, whether it is US economy, whether the Europe job cuts happen and there is demands go down for products and services in Europe, if the demand goes down in US, if the demand goes down in China, if it goes down in other countries like Germany, France, the major economies, is it going to affect India? Is the first question. How much will it affect? So today, India, all of us know, is the fastest growing economy. Even today, even after the talks of the slowdown. It is not because earlier it was China which was the fastest growing economy. China got into a lot of economic issues after a huge growth. You always see that when you get a 5-6 years of a huge growth, you should get 1 or 2 years. It's like climbing the hill. If you keep running the first 500 steps, you have to stop somewhere, drink some water, and again start running. So every national economy goes through the cycle. So it is not that there is a recession. You don't call that correction. This is called correction. So the correction is not the recession. Going back is the recession. So if you go to the how the Indian economy will get affected by the global products today, largely Indian reserves, foreign reserves. So if it is going to affect you, it is as simple in simple words. If I am sitting on 2 crores cash and I have kept this cash in my house, whether stock market falls or whatever happens or the price goes up, anything that happens, my life is not disturbed for the next at least 5 to 10 years. Even if 4% interest rate in the FD, I can still manage because I have a lot of money. Right? Coming back to India as a country, if you see, if I am sitting on huge global reserves, rather than reserves, if I have a debt, if I have a huge debt, again recession comes, I will be heavily. So it depends on as a country how financially you are healthy. Again, are you dependent on exports? Are you dependent on external countries for your growth? Based on that, it is decided what is the how the recession anywhere else in the globe, how it will affect a particular country. If in India, if the recession has to hit, India is not going to be affected by elsewhere if the recession happens because India is financially strong. Because India itself as a country has huge demand. There huge consumption demand. The domestic requirement itself is very, very huge. So the dependence on exports is not very huge for India. As such, the financial condition of India is very huge. I'm not getting into too much of the specifics. So the dependency on other countries is limited. Only areas where India will get affected. One is the oil price, the imports. Currently the energy dependency. You all know petrol, diesel. If the price goes, and two prices will always affect the politics of this country. If onion price goes up, the chief ministers and the prime ministers will lose the elections. Second, if the prices goes up, maybe oil. If only one oil price goes up, the price of all other things will go. That is the connection, because the petrol and diesel price determines the distribution price. Because onion is grown somewhere and it is eaten somewhere else, because it has to be carried, the transportation cost will increase if the petrol diesel increases. So the biggest thing that affects India is the price of the oil, because oil is not available in India. So we have to import from outside, and we have to import paying in dollar terms. So if we have to pay huge money by importing the oil, if oil price goes up, India's economy gets into trouble, because we have to start paying more money outside India than we bring it from outside to India. So only two things that affects Indian economy is our dependence is outside, one on oil, because import is oil. Export is mainly the IT. So if something is going to affect IT and pharma, so the IT and pharma industry mainly depend on exports for their huge growth. Other than the domestic also. The domestic is very limited. So major revenues for IT industry come from outside India. So if at all, if anything affects in the global recession, you would have seen there are a lot of times it has happened. The companies have closed down, and all the people in IT company, they know in advance whether it is management or the employees what is happening outside, because they themselves are going outside and servicing the clients. So they don't know very clearly what is the status. So the point what I am coming to is where the India will be affected if there is a recession. India will be affected if at all if there is a global recession on IT industry and on pharma industry, and that is going to be for the short term. Again, whenever there is a recession, the Indian products are the cheapest IT products in the world. That is why Indian IT industry boomed. For the cost that per person or the per page or per billing of whatever the software industry does in India, the employee cost is too low compared to the developed countries. And in the times of recession, you still need software to run the business. So you will actually not go out of the business, because indigenously Indian products are cheapest for developed countries. So IT will not become zero. There could be slowdown, some layoff, some technology change. Not even there. A lot of companies will get wiped out because of the technology disruption. The IT industry faces a lot of problems, and every time the dollar goes up, their stock prices goes up, because more dollar increases, their revenue will increase from other income. The balance sheet will become very interesting for now 71 rupees dollar has become. IT industry is very happy. Whereas people traveling outside, the students and others, they will feel the pain because their loan amount will become very high. So coming back to this, IT, pharma are the industries which will get hit if there is a global recession, not completely, because the pricing is still in the advantage of the IT pharma industry. Even pharma industry, the capacities are very huge, the quality is excellent, and at a very low cost. That's why Indian pharma companies are doing very well outside India. And IT companies are doing very well. Of course, with the digital India, with so many opportunities in the newer technologies, The IT industries today, boy with only 17-year-old, he is running a big company. We have seen a lot of examples where at the age of 11 years, at 12 years, there is a boy who is going for 7th standard, 8th standard boy in Mumbai. I recently saw a video. He owns a company. He has worked with the Dabbawalas and created a delivery package kind of a business. Is it possible without technology? So without using the resources. So possibilities are immense. So there is nothing going to affect India because global recession has very limited impact on the India. What about stock market? Yes, the stock market will get affected because the foreign investors are the one who is investing in Indian markets also. So the effect again will be minimal because if you look at the stock market, people who invest in stock market are not only traders. There are people who invest for very long term, foreign institutional investors. They need a country which is growing. If the economy does not grow, the companies does not grow, their profits does not grow, how will the investor make money? The share prices does not grow, investors won't make money. So there are no other options other than if this is the only economy growing at the fastest, even after the recession, why will they take out their money? Because there is nothing else is growing, so they have to hold, and they can't remove the entire money. They may it could be an option where they are trading. They'll remove today, try to make some books and profits, and come back and again. So that will create some short-term effect if in the stock market, but stock market effect is very limited. So that takes me. So the global recession is something. The Indian domestic recession. Indian, at least as whatever research that we have done, and I have been in touch with a lot of experts. When I say research, it is not just my study. I have been in touch with commodity experts, currency experts, interest rate futures experts, global market experts. So when they give feedback, when they give inputs, it is that with that collective intelligence is what we operate. And when I am dealing with all these people, I absolutely don't see any kind of recession in India. It is a slowdown and again picking up the speed. So car going at 80, coming back to 60, and again slowing down, coming to the third gear, probably maybe it can come back to 40 kilometers. I'm not saying that it is over. Yesterday, finance minister came and announced on this thing. It doesn't mean that all things are clear and everything is over. The problems, structural problems will continue to be there. It will take time to again increase the speed. Nothing happens overnight. But when there is an intention to do something, it is possible that you can expect the speed from 40 kilometers from currently, if it is at 60, we are calling it slowdown, it can still go back to 40, but the speed will slowly come back to 60 and then go to 80, 100. It will take time.
Talking about cars, there's a lot of talk in the papers and all about duplicate sales of vehicles. What do you say about it, Usman?
Before that, taking these questions, I'll just complete three more points. One, I covered that slowdown is good. Second, I said global recession versus what is this? It's very important to know because I am in India, I have put money in Indian stock market, or what happens in India only affects me. If I am in Japan, what happens in Japan affects me. If I am in US, I should be worried about US economy. I am sitting here in India, I shouldn't be worried about US economy. I should be worried about what is local and how am I going to be affected. So that is what I cleared, that India is self-sufficient in many areas. It is only the oil price which is going to hit India. That is again, it's a fluctuating factor. We are moving towards solar energy. We are moving towards nuclear power. We are moving towards electric vehicles and electric being using with the solar and electric. So the consumption in the next 1 decade, the dependency on petrol is going to be very limited.
So Irona P. Kulkarni, he has a question like, when will gold price come down? Like,
okay. Thank you. So I will take that question. So coming back to this, so I addressed another thing, whether one about the global economy, whether it will affect, it will not affect India in a big way. It does affect. Say when a big tree falls, 5 kilometers away from your house, you will hear the sound. Okay? The sound will come, some little bit of dust will come, some air pressure will come. Suddenly when, it's not that it will shake you a little bit. But it is not like, it has smashed you. So the global effect is only to that extent as far as India is concerned, because India is self-dependent. There is a huge domestic demand, domestic consumption itself is enough to take care of the India where it is right now. And coming back to the third point, that is pretty interesting for me because I need to clear this before. Because normally what happens, someone asks a question, if I answer straight away without a background, it is very difficult to get convinced because that question leads to another question because there is lack of belief in the system. So first and foremost, it's important for me to clear all the air in terms of how we are looking at the things. So it is very important to get to specifics. So the third point is what is this? Because people are invested, because we are a financial services company. So we are investing in stock market. Otherwise, if the clients are not with us, they would not have kept put money into stock market or any other linked products. They would have just kept their money in FD and not worried about anything. They would have discussed the news, but they would not be anxious. So the question comes is, what is the connection between the economy and the stock market? That's very, very important. And how, if there is a change in stock market and the economy, if there is a change, is it equal? If the economy grows, if the stock market and the economy, what is the link in India? Again, I'm specifically talking about India and outside India. Very quickly, I will cover this. See, if you look at the developed countries like US, Europe, their stock market is 100% equal to the economy because there is nothing like a savings bank. There are no individual savings. Everything is linked to the market. That is how the governments and the systems work there. There, it is stock market falls, everybody's life will be hit. Stock market falls, job will be cut. Because everything is converted to data. Everything is converted to 15 seconds candles. In India, our life is not converted to stock market. And the effect on the real economy and the stock market, there is a big difference. And even the economic indicators, whatever we are talking about, the GDP, inflation, there are you already know there are a lot of misunderstandings and debates about the data correctness itself. People debate what is the unemployment number. You are giving one number, he is giving another number. The government is fudging the numbers, someone else is fudging the numbers. So today, first and biggest problem is in India, we don't know what is the correct data. And we will believe by the practice what is the correct number and we'll go by that number. So talking about the economy and banking system, it is very closely linked, but economy and stock market is not linked. So it's very important to have that understanding. Economy effect on the stock market is only when the entire everybody's money is linked to the stock market. I'll give you an example. There is a talk of Deutsche Bank. Currently, Deutsche Bank is in very bad shape, and a lot of top American banks and the European banks, they're under huge stress. The difference is, I'll see. Imagine if you are kept an FD in SBI. You have kept an FD fixed deposit in your HDFC bank. If HDFC bank takes your deposit money and starts trading in the market, will you be getting afraid or you will not get afraid? Will you be withdrawing the deposits? Right? So here bank means they will lend from whatever they are giving the loans, they will give you the FD rates, right? That is banking system in India. This is not the system in developed countries. There, the banks are trading institutions. They take leveraged position. They just don't trade. If they have 10 lakhs, they will actually trade for 5 crores. If there is 10% loss, their loss is 50 lakhs. So this is called leveraging. So this is something putting somebody else's money into risk, whether he agrees or not. And who makes money out of that? I will not get into that. So the point is, the banking system in India is, they are pure banks. Outside, they are not pure banks. They are half bank, half trading company, half currency trading, futures trading. They will trade in every other country stock exchange, in their own stock exchanges. So the people's money is traded in the stock market by the institutions. Here, if it is bank, means it's only bank. Oh, we have other problem of bank, not recovering the loan amount. That's a different problem. But at least we don't have the problem of stock market movements hitting the individual's life. So that way, it is very important to know it is not purely connected. 100% stock market with the economy and with the safety of your money and your life. It is not connected. The way it is connected outside. So they are the people. They get worried every now and then. We should not be getting worried because our life is not connected. Hardly Indians have money in the stock market. It is majorly hard, very small percentage of Indians have money in the stock market. That is one. What about those who have money in the stock market? Does it affect them? Again, the next point that I am going to ask is, who are you? When you look at the news, you should first find out, are you a trader? If you are a person who does not go to software job, who does not go to bank job, who does not go to school job, but you go to a stockbroker's terminal or sit in front of your laptop, open your demat account, keep on doing buying, selling, buying, selling. If you are doing that, you should be worried about news every second. What finance ministry will tell, what economy will do, what will happen in US, what will happen to gold price. All that should be worrying. First, you be clear what you are. If you are an investor, that you have invested the money and you don't want the money in 3 months or 6 months, but you want the money in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, or various goals in future, and that money is invested through an expert, and you don't understand any of these things, there is an expert who understands, and you have given that money to the expert, and expert is managing it. In 3 years, 5 years only you require the money. You shouldn't be worried about any of these news, because it's not going to affect you in any way. What if the Nifty goes from 11,900 to 10,800 in 1 month? What will happen? It had gone 3 times before. Did your life change? Did you get any money or did you lose any money? Because you have invested, it is there. If you are seeing every day, probably you would have got 3 times you would have felt good and 3 times you would have felt bad. But that is not your job. Your job is not. So what affects you is very, very important. You need to know very clearly, am I trading? If you are trading, I can write it down. People whoever has done the trading as an individual without much of the market knowledge, definitely they all have lost money. What about investors? Our values also have come down. Yes, it has come down. It is the value which has come down. Don't exit. If you are invested, you will not exit. If you don't exit, it is not your loss. Again, this is like, rain coming and rain going. Again, the sun shining. Again, rain coming. So there is a season, no? That in a rainy season, you can't expect the sun to come. So this season is like this and the market is down. The next season, again, the summer will come. So you can't be keeping worrying about, oh, rainy season, why summer is not coming. So it is as good as thinking like that. Because you are an investor, but you are thinking like a trader. Why you are talking? Because everybody is talking. You are not thinking, though you are an investor, you are thinking the market falling 200 points today, 300 points today. What will happen to me? Mohan sir, is it all fine? Is everything doing good? I understand your concern, but the problem is there is a difference that it is not going to affect you whether the valuation is down today, up today. I am not going to use that money right now. If you are in that trouble, nobody should actually invest. If you require money, you should keep only in liquid funds, which is not affected by the market. That's what we do. Many a time we keep money in liquid funds, which is required for less than 1 year. We have already allocated some money and we are actually sitting on a lot of cash. And if the market falls, let us say the recession comes, whatever comes, market falls, how long it will fall? It will not fall for next 3 years continuously. It may shake for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Again, the slowdown people will come now, everybody will start questioning. And today, with the technology, with the amount of news flows and the time, the speed with which it flows, people have to react, respond, and start working on that because everybody is made accountable today. And if they don't perform, whether be it government or a business or a service, if they don't perform, they don't stay in the business. They don't stay in power because people are becoming knowledgeable. They question. That's what has happened. And you saw within 15 days, I'll come to the address of how the finance minister's behavior changed after the first period first release to yesterday's first release. So coming back to this, so what will affect you as a trader will not affect you as an investor. So we don't have any traders in our clientele. So we have only investors. So investors should never worry, even if the markets are down. It's a passing cloud, so it will come. Currently, it's a rainy season in the stock market, so it is raining hard and there are floods. So not everywhere. It is floods are there only in few sectors, in few stocks. Like the flood was there only in Kerala, it was there in some parts of North Karnataka. It was not there all the 29 states, 30 states in India. The flood did not happen everywhere at a time, right? It does not happen. Have you ever seen floods happening all over in every inch of Indian land? Flood is there. Is it possible? Not. Same thing does not happen in stock market also. So if it has happened, there is something wrong happening. It will be there in one or two pockets. The banking, if there is a problem, there is a problem in NBFC, there is a problem in auto sector, and someone has to correct that and increase the pace. So very important. The fourth point that I am stressing on is please know that you are not a trader. If you are a trader, then you should definitely worry and stop doing the trading. Today, if you are an individual trader, my request is please stop trading. Don't do any trades. Your broker will be more richer than you. So please don't do the trading. And don't think that I can make big money and start doing trading and then keep worrying about all the things. So since you are not a trader, please don't worry about the markets much, but you must know what is happening. That's very, very important. You should be understanding how things are moving. That is why this discussion is. So the fourth point which I promised is, which I discussed is, there is a difference between trader and investors. Investors will never worry about the slowdown because I know the stock price won't go from 100 rupees straight away to 150 rupees. It will go to 110, come back to 105, it will go to 112, come back to 109, it will go to 118, come back to 114, it will go to 130, come back to 125. Now people who have got at 130, is it recession for them? If they exit, it is loss. It will come back to 125. You have to wait, it will go to 135. If you don't like, please exit. But you think that it will go to 180 and you keep waiting. That is a trader's problem. But this is how our life is also. This is the truth about life. Nothing is straightforward, just straight line kind of a growth. There is always a up and down movement that happens. So nothing to worry further. If this happens, this volatility, these fluctuations will not affect an investor. If there is anything fundamentally wrong, then we will not be there in the stock market. We will exit on that. So you should not be there. We, in a sense, we will also take a call. Anybody for that matter, if you see something is wrong, just don't do anything. Keep the cash in the bank, in your SB account or FD. That is the best place to be there when you are not clear about how things are going to take shape. And wait for that moment when the big crash. In fact, I would rather love to see a crash because when the crash happens, that is where you make maximum money. Then this is a good period to invest. Yesterday, Sitaraman came and talked about now Monday markets will. If it zooms, you don't get opportunity to make money. By the time the market opens up, already with 300 points up. Then you enter again, you will lose on that day. So the point what I am making is, you are an investor, don't get worried about the news that affect the trade. So when you get any WhatsApp forwards, you have to know, is this news for investment? Is this news for traders? So a lot of traders, or what happens is, all the people who give trading calls, they use WhatsApp only. All the people who do the trading education, how to do the trades, they charge huge money and they do classes for all that, and they use Twitter to give calls, they give WhatsApp to give what to buy at what rate and all that. And these people also send news. Because of this news, only this stock is going to fall. Please take sell position. Because of this news, this is going to stop. So that what will happen is people will keep forwarding. That will come to you also. Unfortunately, you as a person are not doing anything. That news is not nothing to do with you. Because you have invested, you have given it to an expert, and there is a way to manage, an expert is managing. So that's the fourth point. And coming back to the fifth point, what is now we are actually getting what is the real reason for the slowdown? So I'll explain that and then come to the questions. Why the slowdown has happened? So the major three, four reasons why the slowdown has happened. So we have seen the markets taking a good turn in 2016 and 17. The decisions, and in fact, if you see the automobile sector, you are seeing in the last 6 months the reduction in number of sales. It is not stopping of the sales. It is reduction in the number of sales. So about 285,000 vehicles being sold in the month of January. In the last July, it's roughly about 225,000 vehicles sold. I'm talking about cars. So about 25% reduction in sales of the cars. Okay. Now what will happen because of that? The inventory is built up for all the manufacturers, and the inventory is very high. And when you don't sell and get back the money, they get into a liquidity problem. So they have to pay all the ancillary industries, right? So how will they pay? They don't get the money. And when they don't get the money, ancillary industries which are supplying this components and all, they don't get the money. They've already paid the GST, everything when they are manufacturing and they are billing. And other side there is a GST refunds they are not getting, and they are stuck on both sides. And the payments are delayed for all the SMEs because the component manufacturers are small industries. So medium-sized industries. So it affects them and the people working in those industries. So coming back to the reason what led to this. So one is the auto slowdown, and there is a problem in the banking sector, and there is a problem in the NBFC sector. It started with the demonetization. So the biggest hit was the demonetization. Demonetization, what it did is reduce the liquidity in the system. Liquidity in the system means whatever free unaccounted cash that was available, which was not coming to the bank, it was actually running the economy. So that cash, irrespective of the stock market, global recession, whatever, it is the cash which is moving, which is not coming to the banking system, was making the industries run, irrespective of whatever situation. So that affected the liquidity, and then the GST was introduced, and everybody was brought under the GST net. All the services and the products, multiple taxation went, and it came to this. For many industries, over at 5%, 8%, it became 12%. So the 3 slabs, 4 slabs of GST became, for some industries, very high cost. So the second reason was the GST. Third was lot of work done on reducing the NPAs of the banks, which led to not many cases getting registered against the companies for misuse of the banks for NPAs, where the banking officials are involved in lending in the wrong means without proper guidance. So a lot of cases came out of that, and the industries it affected. And when you open one box, it's Pandora's box. When you try to clean up one thing, we always, we clean up at home, and we try to remove one. Below that, we see that there is so much of dirt. Then, if we try to clean that, we see there is a lot more. So I have planned to clean it up in next half an hour, but it becomes whole day of cleaning. So it leads to something else. So when you try to change the things, reduce the NPAs, in 2014-15 level, the banking was in very bad shape with a very huge NPAs. A lot of reforms were brought in, and to reduce the NPAs and to regulate the bankings and to ensure that the lending, the money what they're lending to the industries are not done in the wrong means, are not creating any scandals and people taking advantage of that and getting loan unnecessarily, renewing the same loan without servicing the loan, without paying the EMIs, simply taking their influences and making the things run for years. So those things are put to the break. So a lot of things got opened up. Many companies which were supposed to be very good became bad. So what was under the carpet The dust, it came above the carpet, so it disturbed the sentiments. The sentiments were disturbed because the banks became very, very scary to lend. Then came the problem with the NBFCs. The rate cuts which the RBI did not go through because banks was afraid if I reduce the rate, already I am not able to recover the existing NPA loans. And if I lend it at little lesser rate, I'll get into, so let me at least recover, with that 0.5% difference. So banks were not reluctant to pass on that rate cut to the industry. So industry was not getting the lower interest rate to increase the production, or the liquidity was affected. Then came the major problem in the last 1 year of the NBFCs. So you know the companies like IL&FS, DHFL, Diwan Housing Finance, all these companies got a lot of things got opened up in the process of investigation, in the process of bad loans investigation. Lot many things cropped up, and it affected the credibility of these banks. It affected the ability to get more deposit for this, to raise funds for these banks. So they also became very scary. All the NBFCs, because NBFCs is called pseudo banking. The lot of rural areas, the small amount of high risk lending is not done by the banks, the scheduled banks. These NBFCs are the ones who will actually provide liquidity to the market. And NBFCs did very well in the last 3-4 years. At almost 25% growth rate, NBFCs grew. In fact, Bajaj Finance stock became a part of the Nifty 50 index. It was never, Bajaj Finserv and Bajaj Finance was not part of the Nifty. It grows so much in the market capitalization that it became a heavyweight in the Nifty. So I'm just taking one example. There are a lot of companies like that which were affected, NBFCs affected, which is not lending. NBFC is in trouble because they cannot raise funds, and that is the second issue. So GST is a problem, NBFC became a problem, the supply chain became a problem, the liquidity issue created now the auto sector. The auto sector, the reduction in the number of vehicles shouldn't be seen. So then there is a triple effect. So one is that if Hero Honda or if the Maruti does not pay the ancillary industries, make payments, if their sales are hit, it will hit all other industries related to that. It will hit the families because salaries are not processed for many days. They say another 3 months I don't give you the salary. So where will they go and buy Parle biscuits? So I'm coming back to what is the situation. So FMCG. So there are some certain areas which are affected. It's not that it has affected all the. Just like I said, the flood comes only in few parts of the country, and the other parts of the country there is actually no lack of water. There is one side there is flood, there is other side there is lack of rain and lack of water. So what I'm coming back to is, it is not affected across. There are few sectors that are affected hit badly. Especially, it is like I was saying, the relation between the oil and all the products. Yeah. So coming to the auto sector specifically, I'll address because a lot of people are asking me about Maruti Suzuki and all other things. The auto industry is going down. Maruti sale is going down, and it's a matter of concern. Is Maruti Suzuki, Maruti cars not selling is a problem of Indian economy? Is it not a problem of Indian economy? So let us see. I'll share some very interesting details. The Maruti, so you always in cars you have the premium segment cars and the entry level cars. Okay. And the premium, you look at the Honda, look at the Mahindra, look at the premium segment of the cars. There are no new introduction of the cars. It is the same Honda Amaze again, it is relaunched. So same Honda City is selling, same Innova is selling. You don't have a new variant. There is no new technology introduced by any of the people in the premium segment. And so the premium segment, people are not interested to get in. In fact, I have a report. See, there are companies, a lot of people who do stock market analysis, they don't see outside the stock market. When we look at things, we look at the whole, the picture. So it's not just the stock market. So there is a interesting. All of you would have seen the World Cup matches. During the World Cup matches, there was a car heavy advertisement of this car, Kia. You would have heard. And one more car was HMG. So there was a huge advertisement that one monkey kind of a thing coming in, and the Kia cars. So I will show you an interesting article which I am holding it here only to show it to you. So if the car sales is really going down, there is an interesting thing. Kia Seltos, which is launch price is actually 9.7 lakhs. The booking has crossed 32,000 vehicles. So the booking has crossed 32,000 vehicles. So where was the money for this? That means booking means what? It is still not there on the road. Kia, not a single car is available on the road, but 32,000 vehicle is booked. So the one more car that MG, that 50,000 cars are already booked, and they're not taking the fresh cars. So this 50,000 and 82,000 cars are already booked in the premium segment. Of course, these are the premium segment cars. So it is already booked. So not even premium, it's a mid-size segment. So if the car sales has dropped for Honda and this thing, who is getting this car sales? If there is a slowdown in the economy, if people don't have money, how are they booking these cars? And today you go to this MG showrooms, that new car introduced, that internet car. Would have seen that also in World Cup cricket, lot of advertisements now also you will see. There is a huge rush in Bangalore if you see near in and around that showroom. The point what I am trying to make is, this is not the indication of a slowdown. Do you think a company like KIA cars, the KIA, I am reading it as KIA, they call it KIA. The KIA cars, actually I was traveling towards Tumkur side yesterday, last 1 week, I did 2-3 visits that side. There is almost 1.5 kilometers. You have a Kia factory, car factory. It is, if it starts from here, it goes to 1.5 kilometers, the next compound is there, the other compound. Such a huge factory is there. So why is that they are building capacities? If somebody is laying off, why is someone else building the capacities? The point is, Kia Seltos is not there in the stock market. The MG Hector is not there in the stock market. Only Maruti is in stock market. So people who do analysis of stock market don't look at the other figures which is outside. Coming to the small car sectors like Altos and the i10s and the Maruti, the first time when people buy cars, those kind of, why they are not buying cars? If you see today, with the kind of traffic, if you ask people whether they would like to buy a car, they would rather go for a Ola and Uber. So they, without a driver, without anything, wherever you want, you get a Ola and Uber. Why would you want to have a car and waste petrol and everything? Your cost is very high for paying the EMI. Instead of paying the EMI, I can travel using wherever required. Otherwise, I'll use metro. I'll use the cycle. I'll use the two-wheeler. So why would somebody go when? So there is a business model change. So it is not purely, not that I'm saying there is no problem in the automobile industry. There is a problem. There is a liquidity issue. There is slowdown in the sales, but more it's an internal problem of the industry. In fact, the profitability of the Indian automobile sector, the profit margins we call in balance sheet, the profit margins is much higher, more than 1.5 times, 2 times of the global automobile sectors. So if there is a slowdown, which of the cars have reduced their price? They are in fact asking the government to reduce the GST. They are not reducing their profitability. Why don't they say, let me reduce now the recession, let me reduce the price. Let me take a margin on my profit. Instead of getting, if I'm getting 10%, let me get only 6% for next 2 years. Let me reduce the price. They don't do that. So what I'm saying is this is an internal problem. There are issues in terms of liquidity because the availability of funds is affected. The two-wheelers have gone down by 13%. The sales has come down. It does not stop. So automobile industry requires support, requires liquidity infusion, requires also as an industry they have to do many things. And there is also sentiment of electric vehicles. So there was a confusion in the market. The people's sentiment is very low on petrol diesel car. Everybody is waiting for, like it happened. I don't know how many of you remember when this feature phone was there. There was no smartphone. The Reliance phone came. They said we will be streaming videos in the phone and all. There were queues in 2001, 2002 when the Reliance phone was GSM phone, CDMA phone was launched. Today CDMA phone does not exist. CDMA phone was launched. They said 900 rupees. I will give you phone. You can see live cricket match. We thought people were queuing to get and buy. Similarly, today what is happening? The electric vehicle, there is a confusion. People thinking tomorrow an electric vehicle will come in the same BMW. I can drive in electric version. So there are a lot of confusion, and people are doing a lot of research. People who buy high-end cars, they are very knowledgeable, and they are seeing what is coming up next, and they will buy what they will. If I buy today, and after 6 months, if I get a new launch, this is probably people who have a lot of money. So they want to buy what is latest. Why is this 32,000 KIA motors are subscribed? Because there is a segment of the market where they are looking for anything new they will buy. Because they want to experiment and experience what is new in this car. So these people are waiting for electric vehicles. There is a sentiment around that. The infrastructure is still not great for electric batteries in India. The roads are not conducive to run an electric vehicle. Because if you have so many bumps in the road, then your consumption of electric power is very huge and you need a huge batteries to store. So that infrastructure of charging stations are required. The infrastructure requirement is very huge. It may slowly grow once the infrastructure is built up, because government is very keen because of the environmental reasons. Even people, they want to be environmental friendly. That's why they want to go for electric car. That's another major sentimental factor. So all these things together has hit the automobile industry. So the reason for the slowdown, there are many. One is the demonetization. The real estate sector is another major hit which has taken because of the demonetization. The free flow of the cash which was happening in the economy, which is currently disturbed. So the government has to provide other resources of providing the free cash flows. So today, someone who wants to buy, because real estate is very, very important for the economy, because real estate growth will increase into cement, steel, and all kinds of, there is a rippling effect. It's a cyclical economy. So real estate is very important for growth. For real estate, again you need banking. Again you need the right ways of doing business, where you have right valuations for things. So there is a lot of policy requirement that is required for the real estate. So a lot of reforms have to be built, and people have to be given confidence. Don't worry, what has happened has happened. Now start doing this business. We are with you. If income tax people are after the real estate builders, and if they cannot do the business, there is a huge amount of effect on the economy. So people who are doing the business has to be supported with the right things. So if there is a problem in the system, it has to be addressed. So there are issues that has to be addressed in the real estate sector. So the reason for the slowdown are many, but again, the fact that what I am saying is it's a slowdown, it is not a stop. And the 4 points that I noted down is, one is it's a slowdown. Then there is a difference between global recession and Indian recession. What happens in the globe may not affect the India the way it affects the other countries. And the economy and the stock market is not 100% linked. And it is not the way the stock market affects the US economy. Indian stock market will not affect the Indian economy. Third is that you are not a trader, you are an investor. So don't get worried by the news which a trader should get worried. Because an investment, you always have a larger horizons, and you don't get worried by market levels going down by 300 points today, 200. It will anyway come back. When there are better sentiments, it will go. Even in the worst situation, India has grown 8.5%, 9% GDP. Because businesses will not stop doing businesses. Businesses will continue to do business, and the things will come back to shape. It can be a little deviation, but it will come back to the original path. And very important also to know that the reason for there is a systemic issue that there is a banking problem, there is NBFC problem, there are liquidity issues, and there are real estate issues, there are automobile industries. Again, one big point I'll make it on Parle-G, sir. You were asking me, sitting on the Parle-G. See, the Parle-G, 10,000 people being laid off and shutting down the factories. Actually, if you see the Parle-G, it is only the 5 rupees packets. They have a rural brands, there are the premium brands. So the premium brand sales has not come down for the Parle-G. It is only the 5 rupees packets or whatever, it is an internal problem. It is not something which is affecting the overall economy. There are other biscuit industries which is thriving very well. So, what I'm coming to is don't just look at one particular brand, because we are all very closely associated with Parle-G, with our biscuit, so we feel connected very fast. But it is not the case that it is an issue of the economy. And also the reason is, of course, demonetization is not bad because you have to change the system. You can't go on allowing the cash available in the economy. It is not coming into the banking. The country cannot grow. It was a good decision. Unfortunately, it has led to the other issues also. So when you do something revolutionary, you should also look at correcting the problem that arise from that. If I have to create a road in the forest, I have to create, it's not just, an entire area I have to clean up. So the problems comes in between, so it takes time to clear all those things. The GST, it is good for the country, but it does give problems. So cleaning up the NBFCs and cleaning up the banking system is good for the country, but it will give problems in the temporary phase 1 or 2 years. But cleaning is very important. Just because I want to clean only half an hour, and even if I am seeing that there is another 2 hours of cleaning which I want to do, let me not do it today. If I do it, is that the way to handle things? I should not do it. I have to sit and clean. So we have to clean things which is not clean, even if it is giving me little trouble in the initial years. So the policy makers, the economists, everybody has to come together. The government machineries have to come together to understand what things are working, and each one has to be listening to the other and work for the common good. That's very, very important. And yesterday's, coming back to quickly in the next 2 minutes, I'll talk about yesterday what finance minister came back, and some of the things are good for the industry, for the stock market, because lot of things what was done in the budget, the disturbances which was created in the first budget after the election was rolled back. So the FPI surcharge and the HNI surcharge was rolled back, which is good for the stock market. So at least people will now want to come back with a sentiment. It is not because it hardly matters some 1,400 crores, entire surcharge. That may not be the only reason why FPIs are withdrawing the money from the Indian market, but it's a indication. You don't worry, we are there, because you need investments in the country. You need foreign direct investments. You need big investments to improve the economy. So people who have money should be given opportunity to come and invest here, and given them confidence that don't worry, will not harass you on tax, will not do this to you, will not charge you on this, charge you on that, so that they will come freely and invest in the country. So it is very important. It's a very good move from finance minister. In fact, the last 15 days, amazing work the finance minister has done. She has heard all the industries and the real problems. It is not like she straight away came from somewhere and announced these measures. She has been sitting with the industry representatives, understanding the real problems, and she has worked on the solution, and very quickly she came yesterday and announced it. The immediate measures what she has announced, and she also said that in the next 1 week there will be 2 more rounds of announcements. Not everything is addressed, so that's a very, very affirming and very positive move. We haven't seen such things happening. In fact, if you see Nirmala Sitharaman, the way she addressed the press after the budget, she didn't take any single question. She just asked, when a journalist asked the question, she replied with another question, and it looked arrogant. She was may not be arrogant, but it looked very arrogant. People made a lot of comments on that. What kind of a finance minister we have? We're not answering anything. It's just like that. I have told everything in the budget. You read the budget document. That is not the way. You have to sit and answer how things are. But the way she handled the press conference yesterday, she was answering, she was giving reply, the response, and the action measures, what she's going to do in the next 1 week, 2 weeks, what she's going to come with. So she is very clear about what is the requirements of the industry, and she is doing what is required to be done. So it's a fantastic thing, whatever has happened in the last 2 days, in terms of an indication. They're not saying that everything will get sorted out in the next week. But there is a government which is listening. In fact, I was sharing with somebody, if this government can abrogate Article 370, if such a decision can be taken with a majority government in place, with the right people being there in the right departments, and which are open to listening from the industry's problems and economic issues, definitely managing the slowdown is not at all a problem. Because there is also a compulsion for the government. If you see the budget, the last budget, they have actually talked about a lot of measures of disinvestment. So if the country has to do 5 trillion economy, lot of public sector companies they have to privatize. And if they have to make money out of that privatization through the disinvestment and increase the reserves and reduce the fiscal deficit, it is very important that the stock market sentiment is very high. If the stock market sentiment is low, who will come and buy the public sector companies' stake? And you can't sell it in the open market. And most of the time, what they have said, they have created a fund, exchange traded fund for Bharat Ratna companies, and they have disinvested through selling the mutual fund units of this exchange traded fund. So they will not be able to do when people are not even coming to the stock market. So there is a compulsion on the part of the government to make sure that the sentiments are strong first. Then there is an economy that responding to the industry's problem, be it NBFC, be it real estate, be it auto industry, be it FMCG, they should be responsive. And again, GST is something which finance minister said, it is not the central government which can do. The GST is something, it's a council. So GST council has to decide. There is a state contribution and there is a central contribution. So if something has to be done, states also has to take a decision. So unilaterally, no decision happens on GST. If the price has reduction, as if the automobile industry, if they ask to reduce the GST, that finance minister cannot decide. So it has to be decided by all the state members in the GST council. Accordingly, decision should be taken. So what I am seeing is a very positive environment in terms. There are problems. Only problems you get to know who will perform, who will respond. If there is a situation where there is a problem and somebody is picking up your phone and answering you, don't worry, it is not happening tomorrow. But I will do it after 3 days. You will feel better. That's where I am telling. Suppose if this, you are calling, somebody is not picking the phone, you will get into the panic. And the next day you call him, you won't pick up the phone. The next day you call him, you will think that something has happened to me. Why is he not picking the phone? What happened? Why is he not responding? Why is he not answering my call? So the government is answering the call. They are working on it, and they say, "I will come back and give you the report. Tell me what more I have to do. If I have to increase the, do the right things." So it was more whatever the wrong things done in the budget in terms of the sentiments for the stock market, in terms of the bold measures which were taken was rolled back. So it's a good precedent which the finance minister has set in today, and at least I am happy personally that there is the first women finance minister. It's not easy to handle. It's a huge pressure as a finance minister, and every industry, every ministry is asking you for this or that. It's a very tough job. And that too for being a finance minister of India, it's very, very difficult. For a small country, it is different, and for such a country, and she has done an amazing job. And she is. It's a very promising thing that what we have seen yesterday is in the press conference. And I think from there I will start.
Only few more positive factors. India is a huge growing economy and we have a young population. And there's a growing need, it's a total demand for all the products are there. I don't think the way you have also explained it, sir, there should be anything for worry. Probably now we'll come to the questions. Many of our.
Yeah, some of the people are asking questions on the YouTube. Let us. Thanks to all of you for commenting and very actively participating on the YouTube discussions. And I will quickly take a few questions. Dr. Tirupula Kulkarni is question. This is, when will gold price come down? This is a very good question. In fact, if you see today, gold is unprecedentedly high price. It's in the last 3-4 months, gold has run up. It's at 5 years high. So if anybody has gold blocks at home, please go and sell it. You have made good profits. Okay. So if you have bought at 29,000, 28,000 per 10 grams, today it's at 37,000, 38,000. And it may stay there for quite some time. And it will come back when the sentiment. See, always there is an inverse relationship between gold and the stock market. See, when we do analysis, a lot of things I'll not explain it in the open forum because that's also a proprietary things. So when we do research, we see the inverse relationship between in the economy. So the gold prices and the stock market prices always, when the stock market falls, gold will go up. When the stock market goes up, gold will come. Simply because the money will remain the same. Whatever money in the economy will remain the same. So people who have lost money in stock market, they will cut their losses or reduce profits. They will close it, immediately go and buy gold because they know gold price will go up. The people who are in the industry, they know that if stock market falls, they should make money in the gold. Of course, I'm talking about the exchange-traded gold funds, the gold futures, and these kind of digital financial assets in gold. But physical gold, you should be very careful when you are buying. And if you already bought, I think it's a very good time to, if it is not a jewelry, if it is not for your consumption, it is good time to sell quickly and make some good profits. If you have lost somewhere else, that is the good compensation. When it will fall, it is unrealistic. It has to fall. The gold cannot sustain at 38,000. According to me, another 1 to 2 months, if this momentum, the way the finance minister is going to take the measures, if it is going to get reflected in action. So telling is something, doing is something else. So yesterday what we saw is only the promise. So 1 month down the line, they'll come to know whether government is actually released that 70,000 crores or not. Whether that is working really in the market, it will work. And there has been a precedent, whenever it was told, it was done. But still, what is said is not done. When it is done, what will happen is it will result into the confidence in the system, confidence in the sentiments in the market will be high. When the sentiments in markets are high, buying will come. When the FII starts come and buying in the market, when more individual investors starts coming in the market, more mutual funds money will flow into the stock market. So the markets will going up. When the market starts going up, the gold price will start coming down. So if you want to buy gold, don't buy gold this festive season. If you are buying for gold blocks, if you are buying a jewelry, wait for some time and don't buy right now and wait for it to stabilize. 30,000 rupees is the normal price. 30 to 31,000 rupees, 32,000 is a normal price for the price. Currently, it is a very elevated price, very huge uptick. This is a good time to sell. And this is a good time to enter the stock market. And probably a little bit more if there is further more global negative news moving around and for whatever reason, if there is an opportunity at 10,600, 800 level again, 10,500 levels, those are the good times. If you are sitting on cash, we have to actually enter the market. Again, don't do it on your own. listen to your expert and allow him to do, because if you try to do everything without knowing what is coming in, you will become a trader and get caught into wrong things. So you need to have a clear idea about what is happening before doing anything. So gold price, is it coming down? Yes, definitely. What goes up has to come down. What goes up without any logic, because of the fear if it goes up, because of the confidence it will go down. Because of the fear of the stock market, all the money from the market goes to the gold. Not because this is a history. Every time market falls gold, so people automatically take hedging positions. If they have a stock market position, they take hedging in the gold position, so that if they lose money here, they would have made money. So it's a hedging product. Actually, gold is more a hedge than an investment product. So it can make good returns like this. If somebody would have invested, he would have made a good 20-25% return in gold in the last 3-4 months. But that is not a retail product. Gold is a futures and options, so it's a very difficult product to buy. You can simply buy the ETFs, extended fund for gold. So other than that, yes, gold is likely to come down, but when it might take some time. Again, whenever the stock market goes up, that is the time you can expect this to go down. And any more?
Along with a few of the clients, somebody has a question. Yeah, along with few of the clients, what is it? It's not mine.
I think Shrisha has a question.
Yeah, please can you read the question?
Yeah, the question says, assuming that the slowdown is a reality, how long might it take to revive and for the fear psychosis to subside?
Okay, that's a good question. In fact, Shrisha is asking the question as to when the fear psychosis will, go away. If the slowdown is real. First and foremost, yes, slowdown is real. But again, please understand, it's a slowdown. It is not a stop. It is not a reverse gear. So it is a slowdown. First is that understanding. And when will it go away? It will go away when the banking confidences come, when liquidity in the system is increased, which already Finance Minister has announced. 70,000 crore. Actually, the 70,000 crore was part of the budget, which was not told when it will be released, but she said it will be immediately released and made available to the banks. And the MCLR rates, that the lending rates of the bank is going to be linked with the repo rates. Whatever RBI reduced the interest rate, banks have already agreed to pass on that exact rate to the consumers. So the housing loan interest rates will come down in the next 1-2 months as the action happens on the real ground. So if the housing loan rates come down, more people will start going for housing loans. That is how the demand should pick up. So it may take some time, but definitely the action is there from the government. Yeah, you can read the
I
question.
will read out Mr. Azmatullah Sharif. Okay, he has sent a WhatsApp message. He says, yes, I do feel that the economy is slowing down due to global moods. But is it really possible for a large country like India to rebuild its strong financials through rapid takeover in its policies without proper infrastructure to implement its policies? He's talking
Without
about
that, it is not. In fact,
infrastructure.
very good. That's a question actually he has thought about already. So, yes, it is important that infrastructure. See, what is happening today in India is infrastructure. There is a big push from government expenditure. All that, whatever you are seeing, the job creation or things that is happening, the highways that are being built, the cleaning of Ganga river projects. If you see today, if you travel to your hometown from Bangalore, the roads are excellent. What it was 5 years back. So a lot of money has gone into building the infrastructure. In fact, the best ministry in the central government is the roads ministry. That is Nitin Gadkari's ministry. That's
brought in the
yeah. So the infrastructure emphasis has been huge in the Modi's government in the last 5 years. And only thing is, it has been happening only from government side. It has to pick up. The private investment has to pick up. The private PPP projects have to pick up. More projects has to get rolled out. And for the private people to invest, they need a low interest rate scenario, low tax regime. They need a ease of doing business. So if that is not addressed and the liquidity is not available in the system, that is where I am talking about. So the housing has to increase. the real estate has to get again life back. It is almost dead now. So that has to get revived. Infrastructure projects has to get revived. If that has to happen, the money flow has to increase. The problem is because of the demonetization, the cash in which the real estate was running through the cash market, the unaccounted, unbanked cash market which existed in the real estate today cannot operate. So that is the problem. So if the more liquidity comes in and something is in that area is addressed and the infrastructure, yes, definitely the things can improve.
Next question, can I ask?
Yeah.
Mr. Girish Haveri Achar, he has asked, he is talking about the slowdown, because that was our topic when we sent the messages to him. How this will impact me? He is an investor with us, he is a client.
Okay.
What changes need to be done for minimum impact?
Okay. See, as a citizen of the country, as long as this is not going to impact anything because it's a slowdown. It is not a stop. Again, I am coming back to that's why I elaborated on the first 45 minutes on this because it will not affect you as an individual. So it is like a stopping that is there for the shorter period, and again you have to start running. You are running already, but you have slowed down. Again, you have to correct some of the things, eat little bit more, and refurbish yourself, and again take more energy and start running. So the slowdown will not affect because India is very interesting position as of now. In fact, if you see, there was an interview of Mr. Narayan Murthy was talking. He mentioned Infosys founder that we are in the best phase in the last 300 years as an economy. He just spoke, I think I saw in one of the news reports, just recently in one of the university, he was at, I think IIT Kharagpur, he was addressing the university students. There was a UP Prime Minister, Chief Minister also. So he was telling, in 300 years, we are in the best phase of economy. So this is what Narayan Murthy said. So which is very much true in terms when you look at the overall. Right now it is a slowdown, but it is not going to impact anybody's life as such because the economy is not linked to the completely to the life of the people in India.
And more on a micro basis, one of our major clients, again, Mr. Vijay Vincheshwar, has been having concerns on his investments vis-a-vis the economic slowdown. Will there be any real impact? Should he be really worried about it? He is really worried about it. Can you please address his concern?
See, I think I have also discussed the point is whenever we invest in our portfolios, we give very less exposure to the markets. If we had already entered some of the products 1 year back or 1.5 years back, we are not disturbing that. If it could be, where we have already entered 1.5 years back, we are not disturbing, we are waiting for the markets to come back to the position. But if the last 1 year, wherever we have added the new products and we have added only for the protection of the capital, and we are actually doing very active management of the fund. There is in technical words, if you say there is something called tactical asset allocation. So tactical assets allocation is you manage the money, keep the money in such a way where whichever asset class is growing, you keep the money in that. So when it comes to the current investment portfolios that we have, we already have products which has an inbuilt downside protection. So we have debt structured plans where even if market is minus 20%, I'm talking about the Nifty, we have a protection of the capital. If the Nifty is down 200 points only for 1 month, it is not going to affect. And these are the long-term contracts, 3-year contracts, 2 years contracts, which I can exit after 1 year, 2 years. But this by contract it is 3 years. So in 3 years, if you have a downside protection and you have a decent return of 12, 13% and 14%, that is the kind of products we are in. And that's where I said you are not a trader and you are an investor. If the market valuations are fluctuating here and there, the first and foremost is I would say don't look at the trading news because most of the news that gets circulated are for traders. These economic things are very difficult to understand, only experts can understand and create apply on something and see whether what opportunities are available. Like the gold Gold was a big opportunity. If everybody is saying I have lost money, they didn't know that they can make money in gold in last 3 months. And even now also, a lot of people, if they are sitting on half kg gold, 1 kg gold, they should go and sell. Only if they have bought it in cash, or even if they have bought it with receipt, they can go and sell. Otherwise, they have to find, you will find it difficult to sell. So the point what I'm saying is, it is not going to affect one if you are with an expert. It's very important. See, today the problem is our income level has increased. Someone at 30 years of age, today I just had one of the new client walking into the client, he signed up with Finmo, and he's only 29 years and he's earning 1.3 lakhs, 29 years. So I was questioning, is this a slowdown? Do you call this a slowdown? And normally in our philosophies, we don't take people less than 35. Our segment is only between 35 to 55, 55 to 65, because we think at that age somebody would have already worked for 10, 15 years. They have substantial money, they have stability of the income, and they have an issue of not understanding the finance, where to do what. So there is a proper fitment so that they can find a value in this. So we normally don't have clients at the age of 25, 23, 28. We don't have clients. In fact, I told him, you are my youngest client. I am thinking twice because he has got an income above 1.3 lakhs in pay. The point what I am saying is that the income levels are increasing, but our ability to handle money is not increased. We are all taught mathematics in the school. We are very good in mathematics, but we don't understand percentage calculations. See, if somebody says you get 5 lakh rupees and the 5 lakhs has become 6 lakhs after 5 years, will you feel very happy? You will feel very happy. I got 1 lakh rupees because we are only mentally kind of programmed to think only in terms of rupee. 5 lakhs, how much it will become. So people when they meet, they'll ask, sir, returns. How much you will give? You will give 20%. How much you have given? So their question is only that. They will not ask anything else. Sir, ಎಷ್ಟು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀರಾ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ಸ್? ಒಂದು 20% ಸಿಗುತ್ತಾ? ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಅದು ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ. They will ask 5 lakhs ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್? Sir, you will get some 9 lakhs, 10 lakhs. ಯಾವಾಗ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್? 5-10 years it will come. Then you will be very happy. 9 lakhs. Oh, double ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್ 5 years, 10 years. So it is their mentality is only like that. So it's very difficult. Though our income level has increased, someone at 29 years is earning 1.5 lakhs, but he doesn't know what to do with that additional 90,000 rupees he has got in his hand. It should not go to Swiggy and to Zomatos of the world and go to the travel and everything, and you enjoy. Suddenly some slowdown comes and recession comes and your job is lost and you are in credit card. So what I'm trying to say is our income has increased, but ability to manage the money has not increased. So you need an expert to understand this complex economics world. Today, whatever happens, the Trump tweets 3 times in the night at 12:30, market falls in the morning. And something else happens in Russia, it will affect you. Something else happens in France, it will affect you. So we have become a global connection. So what I'm saying is it will not affect the entire India, but one particular industry, one particular person in that industry it will affect. So what it's important to understand the complexities, and only when you participate in these kind of discussions. So it is very important to understand your finance. It is very important to understand your economics. To that extent, you will not be expert, but you have to participate. I'm very happy today. There's so many people sending out asking for questions. It may be coming out of a distress of negative sentiment, but it is good. They may be scared and they're asking questions, but it is good because they're understanding it. They're understanding that it's a complex world and you need someone to help them in that, and have an expert in your hand with you who will be able to explain it in simple ways and see that not just explain the economy, but also see that your capital is protected and your liquidity requirements are taken.
So, Mr. Vijay Vicheshwar, you will not worry
So,
much.
sir is, if you're listening, thank you for asking this question. Yeah, one more question.
From Mr. Loknath, he says, good evening, Mr. Mohan. As on today's news, in Times of India, the finance minister says the government will not push economic reforms and supports aggressively for slowdown, automobile, real estate, etc. His question is, at the cost of taxpayers' money, what is your view on this?
Okay, so what Mr. Loknath is asking is, if this finance minister is giving 70,000 crore, from where is she giving? So is she giving this money from our taxpayers' money? That's of course, it's not her money, of course, it's a taxpayers' money. It's government revenues what she's spending on. So is it at the cost of taxpayers' money? Yes, everything is done at the cost of taxpayers. That's the reality today. So whatever we do, whatever we get the government services or anything that we do, it is at the cost of the taxpayers. But as a finance minister, what she's doing is right in terms of infusing the liquidity and the confidence in the system. That there is a problem, but I am here to solve. I am here to listen to you. In the last 15 days, the amount of meetings that she has had, and she's also new. She has worked as a commerce minister and coming in, chipping in as a finance minister and understanding the minute problem, because there will be always two sides of every argument. If you try to do good to Sridhar, you will have to do bad to Harish. If you try to infuse capital here, Harish tax money is what I am taking and giving him now. So it is not like that, but you have to do in the interest of the overall interest of the country and the nation. What will increase the demand? What will make sure that the people are not disturbed? People are not losing the jobs. More jobs are created because more industry growth, more jobs, and more employment. Then more employment means more salary. More salary means more spending, more Zomatos and more Swiggies. And today in every rural place also you have a smartphone and they are transferring the money and they are buying everything online. And there is the e-commerce guys carrying to every small district also. So the point what I am making is, yes, it is at the cost of the taxpayers' money, but it is required to do. So it is not a cause of concern. Let her do, because whatever she does, it is taxpayers' money, but it is for the good of the country. And we pay tax for what reasons? We feel great when we pay tax because it's really highly patriotic. In fact, just if you are a poor fellow, what are you doing to the country? You are a burden on the country. If you are a taxpayer, you are a giver. So all the taxpayers who are listening right now, please feel very proud, because of you only the country is running. And all of us who are paying taxes, 31st August is the last date. Today, we have almost helped some 9 people have completed the tax filing. So, if you are paying the taxes, I think yesterday I have seen the tax challenge on 60,000, 1 lakh rupees. Not that that's the only tax. The last minute, whatever additional tax has to be paid, they are paying the tax. But please feel proud, because of you, the country is running. And if you are a poor person, please don't be poor. And a lot of people are very happy being poor. I am a poor fellow, what can I do? Please don't do. You can do many things. You be rich. Work hard, use your brain, and earn more money, and be rich. Then you are helping your country. Yeah. Any more questions?
There is one question. He actually specifically did not want his name to mention. He is a little heavy on real estate.
Okay.
So he wants to know what exactly he should do now. He has quite a few holdings, real estate holdings.
Real estate holdings. In fact, in our clientele, we do that review of the net worth, and we see if there are assets which are not growing in value, be it real estate or be it financial assets. Most of the times, what happens is when I see someone with a net worth when I say is all the properties and the cars, investments put together, what is the value? If someone is worth 6 crores, 5.5 crores is in real estate. He hardly has a cash. There is no cash actually. The investments all said and done. We are actually, many people will be discussing, but their entire investment is documented is only 20,000 rupees. And 20,000 has become 18,000 and they will be worried. But it is not true, because 18 to 20, what difference will it make? So what I am coming to you is, if you have your large money, stuck in the real estate or anywhere which is, I am not against real estate. I am not against any asset class. I am only against what is not growing. If it is in real estate and if it is not changing your life for good, you are worth 8 crores but you don't have 2 lakhs in your bank account in a month. Now, not even 2 lakhs is coming, and you are struggling to pay something and managing the cash somewhere else, and you are worth 8 crores and 10 crores. Is it doing good to you as an individual? Is it making you comfort? Because it's very interesting observation. In fact, I was having a discussion. Somehow, I don't know, God's grace, I meet amazing, wonderful people. In the last 3 months, though, it's been amazing people I meet. So the discussion was this, that people who think, that a lot of people, they don't know that they're rich. They think I don't have money because they only see their bank account. All the time you open it, you see how much is there. 10,000 is the balance. I feel I don't have money. I am very poor. What to do? Because they have 4 houses that side, 2 plots this side. They don't see that in their bank account. And they are worth 8 crores, but they are feeling that they don't have the money. So this is a very, very, very special point that occurred to me when I was discussing with someone. You are thinking that you don't have money. You are thinking you actually have money. And answer to your question, people who have real estate, they have to rebalance their portfolio. If you are at least 8 crore worth of net worth is there, and if you have 7 crores, 7.5 crores in property, it's not that you should not have property. At least have 2 to 3 crores in financial assets. And nobody manages themselves. Give it to an expert to manage. Whenever, in fact, the money is big, you will come to the expert. If it's 1 lakh, 2 lakhs, you will do trading. Even if it goes, let it go. But when the money is substantial, don't do it yourself. Because 3 crores, if you don't generate 10% or 12% in a month, 12% on 3 crores is in a year I'm talking about. 12% in a year on 3 crores should give you 42 lakhs. 42 lakhs is 36 lakhs. 36 lakhs is 3 lakhs per month. 3 lakhs per month you should be having cash in your hand if you are generating. So if you have 3 lakhs cash every month in your hand, will your not life change? How many of us spend 2 lakhs a month? I have not seen. We only handle electronic clients. I have not seen a family which is spending more than 1.5 lakhs in a month. I have not seen. I am not saying spending is not EMI. I am talking about going and enjoying. Buying, be it clothing, be it food, be it whatever. I have not seen. Maximum I have seen is 70,000. Maximum. That also not exorbitant spending. So I have not seen people spending more than 1 lakh rupees, 1.5 lakh rupees for themselves or their family in a month. So it is the point what I am trying to make is when you are worth, please know that you are rich. Don't feel that looking at the bank account, you'll always feel I have only 1 lakh rupees in my bank. I'll see only 70,000 is there, let me save. Now till the salary comes, let me manage this. And next month salary comes, I'll feel very good. 1.5 lakhs came. Again by 10th of the month, it becomes back to the 30,000 rupees. But that is not the truth. You are not your salary. You are not your bank account. Your SB account is not your will not decide whether you are rich or poor. You are rich or poor because what you have possessions. And you have worked very hard in the last 20, 30 years to get to this stage. If you are at 45, 50 or 60, if you are sitting on 10 crore, 15 crore, please feel proud because you have done great things. So many people at 50, they are still working. And you are the person who is sitting, but it's just that you are not thinking that there is enough cash with me. The cash, we are good in that, so we can help in terms of restructuring that, sell those and manage the 2 to 3 crores, get those liquidity and enjoy life. That is all about FINMO, financial moksha we call it, because you don't have to work for money. Work whatever you have already done and created the assets. That assets should give you enough cash so that you are comfortable in life. End of the day, that is very important. It's monetary success for peaceful life, we say. So that is a new, actually, tagline we have come out with for FINMO. It's monetary success for peaceful life. So if you don't conquer this thing called money, it will always keep, troubling you all the time. If you are, the conquering money is what? If your income is 1 lakh rupees, and if your saving is 80,000 rupees, you have conquered the money. But this is a fight constant. This is not like only today. Now suddenly your income becomes 70,000 and expenses become 1 lakh rupees. The money has conquered you. You didn't conquer the money. So the monetary success is when you have substantial assets which can generate regular cash flow for you. That is monetary success, which in turn will give you peaceful life because you are the more cash is in the pocket, more relaxed will be the mind, and more better will be the relationships around because money can change many minds and it can give soothing things to the mind. If it cannot buy happiness, but it can remove the discomfort. Any more
Yeah,
questions?
just a few things. In response to our communication for regarding this economic slowdown, few of our clients have raised few other queries which are not related directly to the topic, but is more with our Filmo and community. They are saying one or two. I mean, I just consulted two areas. One they are saying is many are clients, but still they are getting repeated messages for downloading the app and then regularly looking through the communication from us. They say they are one of few of them are done, few are not done. Why it is all coming to us? Maybe it's for the broader category. You can explain.
Okay. So very quickly, just 2 minutes. I think we are getting
Yes.
the sessions we need to end. Completely the Finmo community. If you see recently, the last Saturday, this time, same time last Saturday, we had a program, and on that program we launched the Finmo community. The Finmo community, why we created is a simple reason because sometimes back people are asking if I am sitting without doing anything, if I am getting every month 1 lakh rupees, 2 lakh rupees, what will I do? Are we making people lazy by offering Finmo? Was my question. So many a time I felt if somebody is working in the company and if I tell him pick this company and you get this regular cash flow, what I will do after getting this cash? I will get bored sitting at home. So the point was, what should be there to offer where there is that energy can be utilized for various other things of his interest areas. Whether he wants to learn music, he wants to travel, he wants. There are so many things which we have not done because of the responsibilities of the families and pressures of the money. We have continually working, and we have come to a stage now. If I stop working, I'll get bored. So people who are retired are worried. What will I do next? So there are a lot of things to do. So we thought that's a very good area to work, and we create a community with various interests like environmental protection, Indian culture and heritage. So there are about 7 areas we identified, and we created a community. So every client is a part of the Finmo community. Whoever becomes a guest, that client refers. So Finmo guest is someone whom you have invited them to the family, and they download the guest mobile app, and in the guest mobile app they will get to know about Finmo also, but they also can participate in the community activities. These activities means we have lined up, so we launched about 3 events, so in 3 different areas. So the last part of this 73rd Independence Day, in fact I have this book launched the first time. Now in this book you will see Mohan in a different, altogether a different avatar. All these days I was just giving talks like this on the webinar, in the lectures, in the colleges on finance and various forums. Now for the first time I have become an author of a book, and I have written this book, and the prints have come today, and I have about 2,000 copies which has come to the office.
What is the book about?
This is a book called India's Splendid Journey. This is August 1947 to August 2019. This, as I thought it came, I wanted to write a blog post for all the 1st to 14th of August as part of the Finmo community launch event. So we did celebrate the 73rd eve of Independence Day. And on that day, I wanted to write something towards our country's history. And my research went on. This tremendous amount of response came in looking at the blog posts. What happened in the Jawaharlal Nehru era? How Lal Bahadur Shastri became Prime Minister? What happened in Indira Gandhi's era? What happened to Babri Masjid conflict? What happened to the emergency period in Indira Gandhi? So a lot of interesting facts are there, and it's a very great learning. In fact, amazing journey it was for me to, when I was compiling. I don't say it's a book; it's more an handbook, a compilation of all that has happened in from 1947 to 2019 till the 5th August, where the history was created with the abrogation of Article 370, which was a moment of celebrations. It is like a second independence day. So till that time, whatever the major events that have happened in the country, that has become a book. So I will be sharing the copies of this. I will be meeting all of you and personally sharing these copies, and I'll also provide more copies for you to give. And this is something every Indian should know. I felt it's just about 1/8 of the page, 1/4 of the page, and a very small book in about 50 to 60 pages. This compiles complete history of India, the political and economic development, what has happened today. In 1947, nobody believed India would even survive for 3 months. That was the situation. It is like a sick baby born. And today it's the third largest economy in the world on PPP, parameter of the GDP, the purchase parity. On that GDP parameter, India is the third largest economy. How can it happen in just 70 years? It's a huge achievement according to me. And a lot of people have contributed to that achievement, and we should know. Every India, we always celebrate independence and just hoist the flag and do the Jai Hind. Every time we go and watch a movie in PVR or in Orion Mall, he will put it and we'll stand up and we feel so great. But it's only limited to that. But if you actually read this book and understand how India has, what all different people have contributed, how this journey has come through, it's really amazing, especially the kids. People at least the 8th standard and plus those students and the college students are everybody should read this. That is where I feel, and it's a complimentary copy. It is not for sale, and it's a free distribution copy. And we'll be sharing these copies with everyone. The India's splendid journey, and please do share your feedback on this. And especially the last chapter, I have talked about the life before 1992 and the life of post-liberalization. How our lives has changed. So it's very interesting thing. Please do go through this book. I will make sure that these books reaches you in multiple copies. You can also present this book, and you can put a small, with best regards, with love to whoever you want to offer this book to. We will provide as many copies that you want, and you can gift it to your friends and colleagues who want to read this. And anyone who takes this book, there is this thing to contact us directly asking for the copy of this book. So this is one thing which we did on the Finmo community on the first event of the Finmo community on 14th August. That was last Saturday. And of course, immediately after that, we are addressing the slowdown.
Saturday, they got a program.
So what we are doing is 3 events we have already launched under this. I'll share more. Please do download the mobile app because we have started the notifications in the mobile app. What will happen is most of the time, downloading mobile app is a big concern because of the space. Everybody has a lot of space in the house, but in the phone there is no space. So problem is the space. So don't worry, because see what is very important. You have paid the fees, you have invested the money with Finmo, and what is very important, the most important app that should be in your phone is the Finmo app. One is what will happen is when you go out, one is to know your own portfolio, then to get market updates. From now onwards, we will be increasing. It's not going to be once in a while sessions like this, but then and there. So there is a Twitter link. There is a YouTube which right now you can subscribe to that YouTube link. So you will get a lot of any videos and all these things. You will get it within your phone. You don't have to go to the link and search. Within the mobile app, we have integrated the YouTube link of the Finmo. We have integrated the Twitter link of the Finmo. We have also integrated the LinkedIn page of the Finmo. So all this is available. You can go there if you are active on Twitter. So Mohan at Finmo is my Twitter handle, and you can. I have actually posted today's event also on the Twitter. So you can follow me on Twitter and get regular updates then and there only. Because today the problem is there is a lot of news that is flowing in. And there is a lot of confusion. More news is confusion always. And the moment something new forward comes, if you have 15 WhatsApp groups, everywhere the same thing will come. There is nothing like new, but there is a lot of junk. So the news, so today you will ask me all the things which your colleagues have asked you. It may not be your fear, but your friend with whom you are having coffee in the morning, he said, hey, I read this news. Everything is gone. I lost already 3 lakhs in the stock market. He will tell you. Then you will get worried. Then you will call suddenly and you will. So it's very important. Please keep checking this news. Download the mobile app. This is very important for you to know what is happening, so that one is you get confidence. You ask questions. There is a chat application also, so you can ask through chat. You have a dedicated Finmo expert to service you, and immediately for anything the Finmo expert will ask me. If he knows, he will answer. Otherwise, he will come back to our research desk and ask, "This is the situation. What should be the answer?" So we are also. You are keeping us also on the toe. Please keep coming to us with all your concerns,
Yeah,
all
paid for
your issues. You have paid for it. And we have also invested huge money into developing this mobile app, developing this technology. There can be here and there can be issues of something not clicking, not working. Don't worry about any of the thing, because data is intact in the back end. We are only projecting what is there in our server into the mobile app. If something is not opening, don't think that it is not there. It is there very much in the server. It is just that it is not opening at that point of time. And if the bug is removed, then it will open. So the point is, most important area in the mobile app is the notifications area. So there will be a lot of Finmo community events which you will be very keen to participate. Please do participate. Any concerns that you have in the market, any news that is coming. In fact, I would have wanted to talk about the IMA scam that has happened, the Siddharth's, the coffee day issue that has happened. So a lot of unfortunate things keeps happening. You want to actually hear. Now onwards, anything that is major events that are happening, we automatically post it. One on Twitter, which is more generalized, but we will not give all the content on the Twitter. We will give exclusive, like this kind of an updates only to the Finmo community. Because it is, first we want to make sure that you are all understanding the things and you are peaceful and you don't have anxiety about what you have invested, whether it is going in right direction or not. Is it anything that is happening in the market is affecting it or not? So that is very, very important. Please don't miss out. Download the mobile app. If there is any issue, we have an in-house IT expert to handle all the issues. And we have not bought any outsider third parties. This is indigenously developed by the Well team, of course through the vendors. So it is completely the data, the security, the mobile app, the technology is with us. Whatever is there, we will be able to solve the issues. But what is very important to start using the mobile app, start using all the means to be in touch with each other, so that we are not in trouble, we are not in anxiety for any reason. And you become the positive people and go out and spread the positiveness. If your other 10 colleagues are getting worried and if they are losing money, please add them to Finmo community. Tell them, if don't sign up, don't pay any fees, just come and download this app. You will get exclusive market updates. When you get exclusive market updates, when you get right information in right time, that's a very big thing. Today there are people charging money for news. There is a Bloomberg news premium news. So you pay money to get a news and again get worried about that. So what I'm saying is, this is free and this is what you have paid for to enjoy life, not worrying about what is happening to your investments. And whatever is there, it is our job to do and keep updating you about what is happening. And when we update, I really like the kind of responses that are there, the kind of questions that are asked. And so many people are active on the YouTube today, being a Saturday. There are many other things to do. And you are Janmashtami, of course. So with all this, you are there, and I am very thankful to all of you. So Finmo community is going to grow very huge in the days to come. And please do add your friends, colleagues. You just have to download the app. If you are a client, you have a send invite option. There you can just put their name, email ID, and send an invite. And somebody from the Finmo office will get in touch with them and help them to download the app. So the Finmo app is the most sacred possession in your hands as far as finance is concerned. So please don't miss out on updating the Finmo app. And going forward, our WhatsApp communication will come down, because we will be moving to the larger mass. It's very difficult. Many a time a new client comes, me or in the people, we will forget to add them in the group. So they will miss out the important information. So as the number increases, it's very difficult to manage individually taking the number, adding. But if you download the app, automatically all the updates will come to you. You have a chat application to be in touch with the Finmo expert for any, if you require money, if you require additional investments you have to make. For anything and everything, you have the Finmo app. So make sure that you use the Finmo app, and you also be in touch with the Finmo experts and participate in the events. Next week we have a very interesting event coming. In fact, we have planned a pastry making workshop. This is happening next Saturday between 11 to 1, and already sent out the details. So it's about 150 rupees is the cost per person. And we went there and we experienced the pastry making. It's amazing, healthy, mouth-watering. It's an art. Pastry making is an art. And eggless cakes and eggless pastries. Because knowing me, that I would prefer eggless individually also. So I have made sure that it is eggless for everybody. And please do register for that, and you get to meet other friends also. You can even add your friends into the Finmo community. You can come along with them also to the and participate in the workshop and learn to make pastries. Later you can go back and make those cakes in the home and become popular chef. So I look forward to see your pictures in the coming weeks wearing that chef caps and all that, and the smiles on the face. I look forward to see you in all those. Then we are also planning many more events. There is an event on integrated farming visit. There is also an event on experiential travel, an adventurous rural stay in Hegodu. That's going to be a 2 days, 1 night trip, which we are planning in the month of September. And all this information will keep coming to you. There will be many more programs which will be there in the future. Every Saturday, something or the other will be there. If you are interested, if you are free and you want to participate yourself along with your friends, colleagues, you just have to bring them to Finmo community and register there for these events and exploring the other side of you, the hidden talents and interests that you what you can do, what you can explore in the areas of culture, heritage, in the area of environment protection, in the area of sports, in the area of literature, in various music, arts. So we are coming out with a lot more events to engage and to enjoy, learn and celebrate. Thanks a lot for all of you to have been very actively participating in this event. I look forward to do many more such events in the future, and I'm always available. Otherwise also, a lot of times I feel many people don't call me directly. Please feel free that you can call me directly anytime. Other than Finmo experts also, you can mail me also. You can message me separately. Any concerns that you have, or any interesting points, any suggestions that you have about these events, about the way we are doing things, about the way apps are working, not working, good, bad, whatever be it, please feel free. It will be a great source of feedback and encouragement for all of us here to excel at what we are doing. And we believe in learning from everybody, and your comments, your suggestions are going to be of great importance. And thanks a lot for spending your time on this YouTube channel and being here with us for almost 2 hours now. Thanks a lot.
So thank you all for coming here, and also thanks